Have you guys ever been in an ice storm where you lost power and you were out of power for several hours? I mean, what did you feel like? Was it like cold? Did you feel like this where it's really cold and you're just trying to get warm all the time? I'm trying to get warm. I don't know if you felt like that, but I felt like that. And a lot of times it was really cold. Well, anyway, we did too. And we were really cold, but we got together as a family and warmed up by the fireplace. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how to restore this photo for one, and tell you some funny memories that I have of when we did this, and just how efficient are those inserts that they want you to put in your fireplace? Do they really work? We're going to explore that as well in this episode. So stick around and let's get to it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to digitally enhance photos from an ice storm or a snowstorm, or any photos of your past that may be just a little bit grainy, and show you how to bring new life into them. I'm going to show you how to take those grainy photos that you may have from the 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, and how you can make them enhanced, and how you can take them and become full HD photos. So we're going to get to it right now. So let's go up to my den and we'll get started. Hey there, we're in my den again, and we are on the series of the winter storm, ice storm, the freezing rainstorm in the Pacific Northwest, in the Portland, Oregon area, my suburban town that I lived in, Milwaukie, that I grew up in 1980. January 12th of 1980, there was a storm that came in around, I think it was January 8th, snow, ice, and then it ended with freezing rain, and it created these beautiful, I call them ice sculptures. It made the whole trees look like a ice forest, like a forest made of glass and crystal. It's just really beautiful. And we're going to continue that on this series of photos that I'm restoring from that era from my 110 Pocket Instamatic camera, my Kodak 110 Pocket Instamatic camera. And I'm going to bring it up right now. And we had trees that fell down, we had power outages, but really what I wanted to share with you today is family. Yes, that's right. Family was so important to us growing up, and it's important, I know, to a lot of people. I mean, family is what connects us. Family is what binds us together. And obviously it's God first, family a close second, right? And close acquaintances third, and just, everyday living. But the thing is that was really exciting is how we all came together as a family during this storm. And I'm going to restore a few of these photos here. So here, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on. We had ice and snow, and I took a lot of photos out here because it was really, you just never seen it like this usually, because in the Pacific Northwest, we don't get much snow where we're at in the valley. We do in the mountains, but not in the valley. And right here is where we were nestled around the fire. Now, we just put this insert in well, my parents did, let me see if I can open this for you. We put this insert in just literally a year before this, because people were going around selling them on the idea that, hey, if you guys buy this insert, you can actually cook on it if there was a fire. And the truth is, we did cook on it. I mean, you can see this little kettle here, and my mom would always keep that on there to put steam in the air, to get it really moist, for humidity. But also when we lost power, it was very much needed. Now, what I found out, and we all found out later, is you kind of block a lot of the heat with this insert. The only way you could push heat out is there was an electric, I don't know if you see it right here. There was an electric cord that plugged into this thing, and it was pushing out heat. But if you don't have electricity, it's no good. It's no use. So it would have been far better if we just kept the fireplace open as is, because when this thing was a fireplace, let me tell you, this thing put out heat. It put out heat throughout the whole house, and we didn't even have a fan, anything to blow the heat. It was just the natural, what do you call that? The kinetic energy. I don't know it's the energy that just kind of, the fact that it was heat and radiating from that room would always go all the way back to our bedrooms in the back. We only had a small 3-bedroom home, but the fact that, when you're out of electricity, this is the answer, something like this. So I always say, if you can avoid it, avoid getting an insert unless you really want it. it's up to you. But I would say my personal opinion is it didn't really do us any good. But today we're going to look at family pictures. I'm going to get this family picture right here of us just nestled down. Now, obviously I'm not in it. I'm in it right now. Hi, a little older, but my sister's here. We're just all laying here. My dad's laying down here. My mom's in her robe. They have the fireplace open. It was probably sub-zero temperatures. Looks like we had some gloves up here drying off because we went outside. And then there's this one here, this family portrait. This actually looks pretty good. There's a few flaws in it. So I'm going to spend some time right now with you, and we're going to restore these photos try to get them back to as close as we can to what they might have looked like back in the day, or at least with a better camera, like a 35 millimeter. So let's get started. All right, so first I'm going to open this up in Photoshop. I'm going to start with this one because this one looks a little bit easier. I'm going to reduce the size of my healing brush. I think I'm going to get this corner here. And notice how we had the really wonderful wood panels. I don't know if you could tell this. This is this picture my mom had for years. I don't know if you guys ever had this. If you are a child of the 70s or 80s, do you remember these weird flower kind of things? It's way up here. I'll zoom in on it. Isn't that weird? These it was actually real, not real, but they're like plastic flowers. And then they had these vase. I don't have the full picture here, but you kind of get if you've seen it, you would know what it looked like. It was really interesting. Now this here is a picture of the reason I'm laughing is because I'm trying to heal. I'm using the healing tool and I'm using it on ourselves, on our pictures. And I'm kind of drawing in a different version of ourselves. So it's kind of funny. But this is a picture of my sister and I, and I don't know if you can make it out, but it's funny. It's not funny, but it's like, I should be able to. So now what I'm doing is, what I was going to say is, I guess I should finish my sentence. The photo, you can't see our faces, like her head's cut off, my head's way up here. It's just kind of like odd. So now what I'm doing right now is I'm using the healing tool on all of these little artifacts that's in the picture. See these little speckles? Try to get all the little speckles off. Speaking of speckles, there's Freckles. The reason we called her Freckles is because she had a lot of freckles on her fur. She is a Springer Spaniel from my uncle's litter. My uncle Paul was really into, they had some dogs. They had a female, I believe it was a female Springer. It was a brown-haired Springer, and they mated with a darker hair Springer, and they got this litter, and all of the relatives got dogs. Like I got a dog, my cousin, their daughter got a dog, and the other. It's like all of us had Springer Spaniels that were really similar. One had a T on the rear end, and they called her T-Ba, not T-Butt, but T-Ba. I thought that was funny. So I'm getting I don't know if you notice a little zigzag here on the ground. I think that's another artifact that was on the scanner when I scanned it. Any little hair that you get on a scanner sometimes will transfer to the picture, but this could have just been an old picture over time. Now this is a little artifact definitely on the scanner right there. I've just cleaned that up. And now I'm getting where my dad is, my mom. Look at these little fuzzies up here. I don't know what that is. I got to clean that up. It's really tough because I don't want to take too much because it might make the brick look different. And so I'm trying to just click one at a time. Click, 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 click. Because if I swipe, it's going to see like that. Well, actually that didn't look too bad when I swiped that, but that's in this black area. And so, and again, you're taking around the surrounding areas and it's just blending it in. So you're pretty okay as long as you're doing this diligently. Just take your time. There's no rush, really. I mean, I'm trying to do it quick here so you're not having to watch me click all this time, but hopefully I'm giving you some interesting notes, like the note about maybe you shouldn't get an insert. It's not that I'm against inserts, it's just that after having the fireplace fully open, I know that for a fact that it was putting out a lot more heat without the insert in there. And I think it's gimmick, right? I think that people that want to put things or add on to things that are already working efficiently, okay, maybe it wasn't truly efficient. They could argue that this insert was more efficient, but I can tell you for a fact that it did not put the same amount of heat as it did when it was an open fireplace. We could put fire in there, wood in there, and that thing could heat the whole house. With this insert, it was diminished. Like I would say, it would probably, it felt to be like 30 to 40% less, maybe even more than that. But all right, so now I've done the healing as much as I can, and there's our little kitty, silly kitty, and I named her because she was silly. I got her on a farm, by the way. There's more pictures of her better than this one. This one's really grainy. Look at this. This is an artifact in the picture, but it makes it look like there's a cobweb up here. I don't know why that. Look at that. It's just weird. It looks like a spider web. It's up here, and it's not. It's just it's artifacts in the photo. So we're gonna click. I'm trying to click around this flame because I don't want to ruin the wood. Ruin the wood. This is really tough too, because if I do this too fast, like this, actually it doesn't look too bad. I keep saying, don't do it this way. And then I do it and it looks really good. And it's like, oh, okay. It looks good. Okay. So now I'm going to lower it down to a few pixels here. I think I'm at 6. Yeah. 6 pixels. I'm just trying to get some of these artifacts out of here. And I think we're ready. I think we're ready to save this. I'm going to save this as, I don't want to save it as a TIFF anymore. Oh, I got to get this. And what about this corner? Yeah, almost didn't see that because it's so white. I'm not seeing that. And there's a few places. This is the wall here. We had an arched kind of a wall or a door, entryway, arched entryway into the living room. And so it had this old-fashioned, oh, you can't see it. It's an old-fashioned arched entryway from one room to the next. So that looks a lot better, a lot more clean. See, all that's got cleaned up. Let me see about tone adjustments. Oh, wow. Okay. So I used auto tone, and that seemed to help balance it out. Went from here to here. I like that. I almost don't like it because this looks like the natural old school look. But then when I do it, after I do that, it looks better for some reason. Let me save this as photoshopped file. And okay, so I'm going to get the other photo that I had. And we're going to enhance that pretty quick too. We're going to see how, now this one, notice how this one automatically looks toned in. Like this one I had to alter the tone because, oh, I know why. See this white wall here on the left-hand side, right there? It probably flashed and reflected back into the lens, and that's why originally it was really, really washed out. But when I use the auto tone, see, it took it from here and it brought it back to here. Now this other photo, it looks fine because I'm already in that room without the flashback coming back into the lens. So that's why it looks clean. But notice all of these little artifacts now. Really, this is worse than the other one. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tackle this one with you right here, and we're going to clean all these little artifacts up. Shouldn't take us too long because, hey, we got some experience on the last one, right? So my mom is holding some drink, and it looks like a cold drink. I don't think you would want to drink a cold drink when it's freezing outside. But how do I know? Maybe it's warm. I mean, I was just, how old was I? Okay, so here we go. We're going to click, 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 click. I don't know if you can hear me clicking. There's some stuff in my mom's hair here. So I'm going to click that. See right here? Click, 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 click. So she's talking to my sister or my dad or something. But all of these little artifacts have to go because we want to make all of this uniform. Because if we upscale this image and we don't do this ahead of time, then it'll grab any little artifact and then it'll make the image look worse for the wear when we go to upgrade it. The cool thing about the 1970s is a lot of people were doing their own fireplace because one, a lot of people had their own fireplaces, especially in like areas like ours. And then two, even in our suburb area, we had large enough yards to do our own field burning. But in the winter, a lot of the burning that happened was in wood-fired stoves or wood-fired fireplaces. Yeah, I can talk. And with the energy crisis going on as it was, a lot of people would go up, like my mom and dad, and we would go up to Estacada and to the Cascade Mountain Range to get wood that the loggers would leave. They're more like the scraps that the loggers couldn't log. And so they'd leave tons of wood that they didn't want to get themselves, and they would give permits for us. And I might show that in another episode where I'm restoring those photos. But it's just beautiful country up there. Steep hills, very scary. You look down and you're right there. It's a 1-lane road. But we would get wood that would last us the entire winter and then some. And we would go with our neighbors next door, B and Gerald. My mom and dad would go with them. They would have their truck and we would have our van. But my dad ended up, because he was pretty rugged, he would end up being a really big help to our neighbors. I mean, he would practically pack their whole truck with wood. So we all had wood. Us and our next door neighbors, we had at least like a 2 or 3 cords of wood, maybe more. I can't remember how much it was, but it was really a lot of fun, and it taught me a lot about things like how to work a chainsaw, which I didn't really work that much. I was the one normally chopping the wood in the Cascade Mountain Range. And then we would sometimes we just bring the logs home and chop them there. Dad would take the chainsaw, make these sections about, 2 feet, 3 feet, 1 feet, small little logs, and then we would chop them. So as I've been talking with you about this, you notice that we've been really cleaning this up. All these little artifacts over time, just by talking and just by clicking, I've been getting everything. It's almost like a game, right? It's like a clicking game. You probably are seeing them and you're like, Steve, oh, get that one. Oh, get that one. Oh, get it. You got it. Get it. Got it. Good. Okay. There's a little line here. I don't know if you see it right there. Oh, it's weird. So now that I'm really close, I can see something on her hand there. Something in the fire. It's not a person, is it? It's a 4th person in the fire. All right. Well, I'm getting this cleaned. It's a little bit challenging, especially the white. It's hard to see the little artifacts in the white. Oh, look at that little hair there. And I don't know if you noticed what I just did. Whenever you see a color like this, and if you're dragging and sliding the healing tool, you want to make sure that you keep it within the confines of that color stripe. And then when you come out here, because look, if I don't do that, let me try and do something like this. Well, that didn't look too bad, but it's just a good rule of thumb to stay within the confines of a color area, especially if you're trying to use the healing tool to blend in. Now there's this, we're getting over with my sister my sister isn't looking towards me. She's looking towards the fire, towards my mom. I think at this point we did the family portrait, and she was probably getting tired, turned around. The cool thing is we just all huddled in this one room. As you can tell, this was like this is our living room. And so we were huddled all around this fireplace. Oh man. Okay, so this area in the middle is a lot cleaner, but look over here off to the left. I'm gonna have to clean that up. So we're gonna go over here. This one is a lot worse than the other one was. That's for sure. So I'm gonna make my tool bigger so I can grab this. I like to get the tool big so I can get the edge like that. Okay. Lower this down. Okay, so now I'm here. Now I'm doing this manually. There is a photo restoration feature that could probably take up a lot of these for me. But sometimes when I've done that, it loses the detail, and I don't want to lose any detail here because with this older footage, this older film, you're already losing detailed enough. I don't know if you see this, but see this little gray, or it's like a lighter area of brown. My mom, she used to put these kind of covers on the couch, the sofa. Did your mom used to do that too? Did you have? Do any of you remember these kind of faux covers? They were just kind of like this. It wasn't suede, this couch. It was more like a cloth, but it felt like it had the kind of a furry feel, or not furry feel, but I can't remember what that's called. Look, it feels like little hairs are on it or something. It's almost like a velvet, maybe. Is that why? I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a velvet. And when you felt it, you know, if you felt it one way, it kind of flowed, and then the color changed. And if you rubbed it the other way, it kind of like it felt like there was some, like there were little tiny hairs. If you know what that is, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. I'd like to know what that is. I called it little felt, but it's not felt. It's, gosh, what is that? There's probably a name for it. I don't want to look right now though, because I'm just too into this. So I'm just going to rely on you guys. All right. So now we got this. I think we got this a lot better than it was. I'm still going to keep going because I think I want to, didn't do that right. I'm just going to go over here now to the right. Ah, yeah. See, we got this here. We got that there. This here. I'm seeing a lot of different artifacts, including the corner here. Whoops. Can't really do too much damage. Anything you do wrong, you can always undo. There's always the undo key. Control Z is the undo. Or up here, edit, undo. Oops, edit, undo. It'll undo the last several. I mean, you can only go back so far though. All right. So now let me see if I got anything up here. Man, my wrist is getting, this clicker is really hurting. I know, poor baby, right? Oh, poor Steve, wrist hurts. Your wrist hurts, huh? Want me to help you? Can't you click it yourself? All right. Something on my dad's head, something by my silly kitty. So silly cat's sleeping right in front of my dad. Almost looks like he's using her for a pillow. All right. So this is, I don't know if this is good enough. Let me zoom in out. Let me zoom out. Wow. I like what I'm seeing. Let's try to auto tone it. See, the auto tone doesn't work good now because I think it already had good tone to begin with. So we're going to now take this photo and save it just like we did the other. And then I'm going to bring it up into an upscaler so that we can have both of these photos around the fire during the winter storm of 1980. We showed you a few photos that were outside, but now we're having family time. You know, it's kind of exciting, really, when stuff like this happens. It does bring families together. I mean, look at that. We had to come together because it was freaking cold out. It's like, all right, so I'm going to say, let's save that. Now I'm going to export. Now we're going to use Gigapixel, the AI upscaler that I like to use from Topaz. So first, this one. This might be about as best we can do with this grainy of a photo. Let me do low resolution. That's actually pretty good. I'm actually liking what I'm seeing here. Yeah. The only difference here is like if I see this face recovery, I can turn on face recovery, but there's so many artifacts. I don't think we're going to get it any better than this. Let me try this again. Where's my slider? Oh, there it is. So here's before. And there's after. Yeah. My sister's face comes clear. This post here on the chair becomes clearer. My dad's glasses and all that reflects. But let's try and do face recovery on this and see what it looks like. See how much more of the faces that we can get. It's right now on 35. Usually I've seen that to be a good choice. So let's see. It's thinking. Okay, it's done. Oh, wow. So my sister's face, look at her. My sister's face looks really clear. My mom's not so much. And my dad's looks worse because he was in a grainy area of the photo. I'd have to go through that photo area and clear that up if I wanted to. But look, and my mom's face doesn't look, oh, that's kind of creepy looking. Oh, wow. Okay. No. I mean, it looks close to my mom, but her eye, it did something wonky with her eye. It's because there's not enough. I can't believe how it figures out the faces though. Even though that's not quite accurate, it's really creepy how it was able to get some of it. On my dad's, it didn't because there's just too much grain in that, and it emphasized the grain. I'd have to go into this photo and smooth out this area, and it's just too much work. Plus, I just don't know if it's worth it to get that. My sister, though, wow. Like if I zoom in on her, that looks like her, except her face, the mouth looks kind of, because it looks like she's doing kind of like a half grin. It's not actually too bad, though. And you can do the strength of the face more and less. Like if I do it to 91, wow, that does get my sister's face pretty clear. My mom's not so much though. So I'm not going to do the face recovery on this because I just think it's more natural. It'll upscale it as is. So I'm just going to, well, actually, before I do that, let's bring the other one in. The other one was this one. Now this one makes my mom's face look grainy, but over here on the left, it cleaned out this area and the wall. So I don't know. I'm kind of like torn which way to go here. Let me try Art CG or HQ. This one, I don't think I'm going to need to. I think low resolution is going to be the best. Let me try the face recovery in here. I don't think it's going to work because the only face that they have to work with is my mom's, and I don't know if it's going to get it quite right. It looks like I missed an artifact right here on the shirt. That actually doesn't look bad. The face. I think I'm going to leave that on there because that's actually not bad. That's actually pretty darn good. Okay, so I'm going to say, oh, but if I do face on that one, it's doing the face on this one too. All right, so here's what I'll do. I'm going to close that one. I'm going to save this one. And then that's going to save. And now I'm going to do the next one, which is this one. I'm going to put back the face recovery back to 35. It's going to update. Every time it's doing this, by the way, it's looking through the algorithm. It's sizing this picture up. It's sending it into its algorithms, and it's spitting out the file. Okay, so here we go. So this was before, and then this was after. And actually, before was truly this one. So this one was before. This one was after we fixed it. We went from here. Remember, we had all these artifacts here. We had some speckles. We had this little artifact here. We took that out. We auto-toned it. So we brought it from this to this. And then we took it into gigapixel, and it became this. From here to here. Before and after. Before, after. You can see it got clear up here with the flowers here. It got clear in the wood paneling. And my dog Freckles here with my sister in her nightgown and all that stuff. And my cat Silly. This is our whole family portrait right here in a winter wonderland outside. No power in the house, so we're nestled by the fireplace. And let's see how the other one turned out. So the other one was this one here. Let me get it for you. So before and after. So this is before we had all these speckles. Remember, we had a lot of artifacts all over the place. This was after we removed them all. Before, after. See all those little white dots here. The edges here on the corners above. Then we removed them, and voila. Now we took it one step further, and we went from here, and we took it to the gigapixel AI enhancer, upscaled it to this. So now we went from here to here. Here to here. Again, here, before, after. Look how much clearer my mom's face is right there. Look at that. Here it is before, and here it is after. It's a little bit blurry on the hands, but the face, and I didn't increase the face too much because I didn't want to remove the naturalness of it. So it gives it enough realism to appear to be more HD. There's still a few artifacts that turned up in this that I'd probably want to clean up, like these here. These lines were so focused, and I could do that pretty quick with an AI tool. So now I'm going to open this same enhanced version of the photo that we just did, just to show you how easy that really is. And then we're going to, whoops. See, when I bring it in here, it doesn't even look bad, but I see it. So I want to take the healing tool. I want to get a little bit bigger. Now notice now, because I've increased the dimensions, the quality of this photo, because I increased the size, now the healing tool has to be increased as well. These lines, I don't know what these are. I almost want to leave them there. It could have been an artifact on the scanner itself. Let's see, something was over here. Yeah, this line on my dad's pajamas. I don't know what these are, but it's artificial from the photo. It's not what was really there at the time. So I don't know how those artifacts were injected into this, but I'm just getting them out. I think this is good enough. So you say good enough? GE, good enough. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I got to show you the final result. So here we go. All right. So here's the final result. There's our family picture in, well, not me in it, but my mom, my dad, and my sister with our dog Freckles and our cat Silly Kitty right next to the fireplace when there was all this winter wonderland going on outside. When the house was looking like this and there was a winter freeze and there's ice crystals everywhere, freezing rain, we were inside. No power outside. And then we also have this one right here that we restored. Did the AI enhancements, did a little bit of enhancement on my mom's face. And it's showing this insert that I absolutely did not like. And I knew that they tried to sell us on the efficiency of it. It was not efficient at all. And the fan that pushes this heat out doesn't do you much good if you don't have electricity. So anyway, so there you go. Hope that was a valuable life lesson for some of you out there to know that inserts aren't always the best thing. But you know what is the good thing or the best thing in times like this is photos like this. Photos where the family is together, telling stories, maybe cooking on this little insert, staying warm, trying to survive the cold weather, and just coming together, you know. Sometimes families need to do that. One of the things that we always did as a family is came together every evening for dinner, like clockwork. 5 o'clock, 5 or 5:30. Always like clockwork. Dinner was on the dinner table, and it was fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh food that my mom canned from our garden. There was always something, but she always made sure that we had good food, good dinners, good times. So anyway, well, I hope this brought back some memories for you, and I hope the tips that I gave you will also help you preserve your own family memories of yesteryear and any ice storms. Did you guys have any ice storms when you were growing up? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear about them. And until next time, this is Steve Klein saying live life to the fullest, and I'll see you in the next video. By the way, if you're interested in the next video where I'm going to talk about if you're interested in the next photo that I'm going to restore in this series of the freezing weather and ice storm of 1980, check this one out. Check this one out right next to me, and it's going to be on the trees that fell.